Tanchjim has released their third dongle, the latest one after Tanchjim Space and Space Lite. Now we have this Tanchjim LUNA, priced at $129. Two options being provided, the stock one and also a special edition called Asano Tanch, priced at $159. So the main difference between those two are aesthetics primarily, especially for people who love this anime thing. The question now, is there any difference between this LUNA here, which is Asano Tanch edition, with the normal one? And my answer is no. The only difference would be just aesthetic. Inside, what you're going to find is a combination of dual Cirrus Logic CS43198. Yes, I did mention sometime early this year that we're going to see a lot of this Cirrus Logic, especially 431 series, and this is one of them. And let's just talk about the configuration. It is pretty much, I would say, as per expected from 43198, but you are limited to just DSD256, which is pretty much, I would say, that not as high as some of the competition that I am seeing in the market at this price point. And also, you have to consider that this LUNA comes only at a maximum of 285 milliwatt of power at 32 ohm from the 4.4 mm balance. Entirely made of metal. Okay, I would say that this is the kind of no-nonsense design that you can expect from Tanchjim, with just a simple affair of this volume adjustment up and down, which is independent volume adjustment, by the way, and then of course this 3.5 mm and 4.4 mm single-ended with this cable here, which seems to be very simple, but in fact this is premium, because you would notice that at the end of this cable, USB cable here, both of them are gold-plated, and I think I have read in the description that this cable is also expected to be RF interference resistant, and I can attest to it. I have tested it for quite a while. I am not hearing any kind of RF interferences from this Asano. Just look at that. Are you enjoying this? I am enjoying this. Just now it was like about to go all sunny and hot, just like normal Kuala Lumpur. I am here, by the way, at Tasik Titiwangsa, or Lake Titiwangsa, which is in the middle of Kuala Lumpur. Such a nice place. And now, as you can see around me, it is already raining. Okay, let's just get back to this Tanchjim LUNA. Okay, one of the major attractions for this Tanchjim LUNA, as advertised by Tanchjim, is that you should be able, you could, control the features if you use an app. First, I'd like to show you, you would not be able to find that LUNA app or Tanchjim app in the Play Store. As you can see here, let me just demonstrate to you on my phone here. And I'm just going to click on this. Let's say I want to do a search on Tanchjim app. Okay, there you have it. And then you would notice that on my phone here, there's no such a thing as Tanchjim app. After doing a bit of Googling, I actually came across this announcement by Tanchjim. And it says that in order to download the app, you just need to click on this link, and you want to know what happened. Once I click this link, this is what I'm getting. Can't reach this page, so it's not accessible at all. But after reading a bit of, let's say, description from the comment below, and thanks to somebody by the name of Powell Belak, he actually provided us with the correct link, as you can see here. And when I click on it, and true indeed, I was presented with this screen. Now, let me just show to you, you can see there, you can actually have two barcodes, at which what you can do, right, you need to close one barcode, whichever that you want to use, and scan it to your phone, and then you should be able now to download the Android version of Tanchjim LUNA app, because my phone is Android. And then after running it, this is how it looked like. Let me just show to you. Okay, now I have already that thing loaded, and I am connecting my LUNA now, and see what will happen. Okay, immediately allow Tanchjim to access Tanchjim LUNA 80. I click OK. High and low gain here, which is pretty much from 2 VRMS to 4 VRMS. And then every time you do that, you always go reading. And then we have filter here. Now, you are given 5 different type of filter, but to be honest with you, I am not familiar with any of this, because Tanchjim decided to use a different kind of term. But the key idea behind this filter is that usually you're going to get 3 types. Okay, non-oversampling, fast and slow roll off. Okay, and after doing a bit of testing, I will admit one thing, the filter seems to be quite functional, quite effective, because I do hear differences in the terms of how it presents the pace, rhythm and timing, meaning that especially the momentum of the sound itself. You see here, deck mode. It says you can click between class AB and class H easily, okay? And every time you do that, it will save the setting into the dongle permanently until you change it the next time. Now, the key thing is that after switching between the two of them, I am not hearing that much of a difference really, because I think both of them are pretty much tuned similarly, but I think the key differences is here, the endurance of when you attach it to the phone. When I attach this Luna to my phone here, which is Xiaomi Mi 90 at 4000 mAh of battery, running in AB mode, I was able to get in excess of 9 hours of runtime before my phone ran out of battery in AB mode. So that is definitely already impressive, I would say. 9 hours, anything above 8 hours is good. But if you want to stretch it a bit further, then this is where you want to use high efficiency class H, because then you're gonna get a bit more of mileage at around 10 hours instead of, let's say, 10 to 11 or even up to 12, depending on what you are driving. With just 285 milliwatt of power at 32 ohm at 4.4 mm balance, I would say that this Luna kind of a bit moderate with the power itself, because if you were to compare with some of the competition, the current standard, especially if you consider this Onyx Alpha here and also Ibaso DC07 Pro, two of the very best dongle that you can find in the market, especially this year, both of them offering in excess of 500 milliwatt of power at 32 ohm, running from the same Cirrus Logic DAC chip. One of them CS43198, this Onyx Alpha, and this one running on quad CS43131. So, is it enough to drive something like this? Sennheiser HD 600-300 ohm from the 4.4 mm balance. I have done extensive testing and I might say just this, it is barely enough. Okay, barely enough because first and foremost, the loudness itself. When running on maximum volume on the host and then also running on the independent volume adjustment, I needed to crank in excess of at least 76 out of 100 in order to achieve proper listening loudness. And even so, I would say that the dynamic handling, the dynamic authority as presented by this Luna, kind of a bit not as good as how I am hearing it from this two here. And also, when you consider that I switched to something which is supposedly easier to drive, something which is a bit more sensible like this Hydis MP145 here, and also my new favorite which is Let's Sure S12 2024, both of them magnetic planar. Surprisingly, I also needed in excess of around 70 to 73% out of 100. In contrast, if I were to compare this with the performance of these two dongle here, okay, these two only needed at around 53 to 56 out of 100 doing the same thing. So, if you are intending to get Luna and you want to drive something heavy out of it, I would say that, probably not a good idea. Assuming that you have seen my latest video on Dongle Madness, an announcement which I made a few weeks ago, you might have seen it, then you might remember one key word that I did mention, that today, now, in 2024 especially, since for the last 1 year, we are seeing huge improvement in dongle technology, that practically every other dongle that I am seeing being released, especially this year, especially coming from Cirrus Logic CS series, they are all amazing. And such is the same case can be said for this Tanchjim LUNA here. You can expect the kind of high quality, high fidelity, high performing sound coming from this Tanchjim LUNA, just like many other very well tuned Cirrus Logic CS43198, especially like Onyx Alpha or even EPZ TP50. So you can expect pretty much similar sort of sound. So what we're gonna do, what I'm gonna focus is more on the differences. How does it differ from the rest of the competition? I did mention earlier that there are some differences in power delivery. So I would say that this Luna is definitely something which I would consider as IEM specific kind of dongle, which is very impressive with highly efficient, sensitive IEM, especially if you're looking at the signal to noise ratio, which is rated at 132 dB. That's practically 2 dB higher than most other competition in the market, including Luxury&Precision W4. Okay, so that is crazy good. So if you have highly sensitive IEM, this is what you want. Okay, even running from the 4.4 mm balance, there's no way you're gonna hear any kind of floor noises, even if your IEM is crazily, stupidly sensitive, especially hybrid. And then when it comes to the sound presentation itself, I think the most important thing to me is the timbre presentation, the tonality of it. And probably you would have known by now that I highly appreciate something which is a bit more musical, organic and natural sounding. Some people might call it as warm sounding, and I would just simply say that this Luna, definitely the kind of dongle which I would consider as being into analog type of dongle. And then it is definitely in alignment with the likes of Onyx Alpha, EPZ TP50, iBasso DC07 Pro. I am not hearing any kind of digital or metallic element to the sound itself, no matter how analytical the output is, even when paired with something highly analytical like this FiO FA19 here, which is crazily ultra resolving. I get proper balance of being analytical and musical at the same time. I would like to note as well, it is not exactly neutral, because upon let's say exchanging, comparing between this Luna here and also with the other two dongle which I have earlier, which is the Onyx Alpha and iBasso DC07 Pro, I did notice that there's a bit of emphasis in the mid-range from this Luna here. So which means that there's a bit of coloration, perhaps not so much towards the coloration, but the way it staged the mid-range, it is kind of a bit more forward sounding to emphasize a bit more on the vocal and the instrument itself. So if that is the kind of thing that you want, probably Luna is really a good match for you. But if you prefer something which is a bit more transparent and neutral without any kind of enhancement, flatter throughout the frequency range, anywhere from lower mid-range to the upper frequency, then I would say that, you would find that Luna is a bit colored again in the mid-range section. Otherwise, upper frequency, lower frequency is definitely transparent, very resolving, macro and micro detail, and smooth at the same time. I'm repeating myself here. Hey, the rain is about to stop. I have been stuck here for quite a while doing this video. But I'm enjoying it. Kind of really good, for a change to have, instead of just hot sunny day, rain like this, and in a very nice place like this. So let's just wrap things up. Let me just try to simplify for you, what kind of audience, why you would want to buy this Tanchjim LUNA here. And just pay attention to what I have mentioned earlier. Okay, if you intend to drive something which is heavy, if you intend to drive magnetic planar, then I would say that you should stay away from Tanchjim LUNA, because you're gonna find that the power itself kind of a bit, limited. But then again, if you are using something which is highly sensitive, highly efficient, hybrid IEM, and I can say that pretty much the majority of people out there uses IEM like that, then you'll find that this Tanchjim LUNA is perfect for that sort of usage, because it is super silent and it offers the kind of resolution, image, the kind of musical balance between musical and analytical. It is pretty much, a top performer when it comes to the sound aspect itself, the quality that you can expect from this Tanchjim LUNA.